Good morning. The government plans to offer incentives for man-made fibers, a PLI scheme like the one that it has for mobile phones, and it also plans to offer an urban Narega kind of scheme. If that happens, that's very good news. Both should have happened a long time ago. While an urban Narega requires just a budget adjustment or a budget provision, the second one, a PLI scheme, is going to require a bit more. Of course, it will require money, which the government may not have. But secondly, and more important, it requires a complete rejigging of the excise duty or the GST structure right now, and the GST structure is not something in control of the government of India. It is actually something which the GST Council needs to look at. So it's not quite clear if this scheme is going to take off in the manner that the government hopes that it will. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh came out with a list of 101 items where he said no imports would be allowed. Instead, production would have to happen locally in the next 4 to 5 years. Over the next 4 to 5 years or 5 to 6 years, he said, this would mean that local industry would get about 4 to 4.5 lakh crores of fresh orders. And this is very good news, considering if you read our edit last week, essentially we talked about the fact that how local firms, despite whatever the government had said, local firms were starved of orders. This is for two reasons. One, the defense budget itself is not increasing in the manner that it should be because the GDP is not growing. And secondly, within that, the capital allocation itself is falling quite dramatically. And third, within the capital allocation, the bulk of the money really goes to defense PSUs. So while Defense Minister Rajnath Singh's scheme is to be welcomed, a lot really depends on how it is implemented. So for example, we know that the defense forces are by and large reluctant to accept Indian equipment. So for his scheme to work, the defense forces will have to start being more accepting of Indian equipment. Secondly, the government will have to start making sure that the bulk of the orders don't go to defense PSUs anymore. Another issue that is going to come up is about total indigenization. If the government or if private companies or defense PSUs have to regularly update this equipment, whether it's submarines or rifles or anything else, they can only do that if they have complete transfer of technology. And given the low level of defense orders in India, it is not clear that transfer of technology is going to be that simple to do. In a completely shameful move, we report the UP State Electricity Board has actually asked suppliers, these are suppliers that it owes money to for the power, for the electricity it has bought over the years, it has not paid their dues, and now that the central government is lending its money, the UPSEB is saying that we are willing to pay the dues back provided these suppliers give us a discount on their dues. Nothing can be more shameful than that. Ideally, these suppliers of power to UPSEB should just stop supplying power to it. But that's easier said than done. For one, UP is a big buyer of power. Secondly, to the extent that some of these power plants, these power suppliers are based on Uttar Pradesh, it's going to be difficult for them to do business if they take on the government head on. Thirdly, keep in mind that the Uttar Pradesh is the BJP-run government, so even the central government may not be very happy if these suppliers start acting tough with Uttar Pradesh. It just underscores how difficult and often unpleasant it is. While migrants have begun returning to cities for their jobs, an interesting report by India Ratings points out that migrants have still not come back in large enough numbers, and there are certain sectors and pockets like MSMEs, for example, which are particularly vulnerable if these migrant labor don't come back quickly enough. While the government of India is very keen to start sharing non-personal data, and in fact it even wants to set up a regulator whose job it will be to make sure that companies share this data, and the pricing and things like that, other issues like that will also be decided by the regulator. So while that is on the anvil, our lead column today says that it's a good move that certain kind of non-personal data should be shared, but cautions the government as to what it can mean. So for example, anybody can ask an Amazon, for instance, for details of the top 25 selling items on it. It will be duly anonymized, of course, but nonetheless, whether it's an Amazon or whether it's a company like Google, these are companies that are spending lots and lots of money to build out services, and as part of that payment for them is really the data which they collect, and then they put that data to use, whether in terms of getting more advertisement revenue or getting more focused sales. So asking these companies to part with that data for a certain price seems to be a bit unfair, and essentially what our column says is that the government needs to be a bit more careful while it starts before it asks private companies to share their data, but certainly meanwhile a lot of publicly available data from the GST Council, for example, or traffic patterns and things like that should be shared immediately. Thank you. Have a great week ahead.